All right, today we're diving into something really interesting, OpenClaw. You've probably heard of it. It's that AI assistant that just exploded online, promising to do everything, and I mean everything, that our current AI assistants can't. This is the story of a tool so powerful, it could genuinely be the future. Or, a complete disaster just waiting to happen.
So let's just start with a question that I think we've all screamed into our phones at some point, right? Why, after more than a decade of Siri and Alexa, are our AI assistants still so, well, kind of useless? I mean, they can't remember what you said 5 minutes ago, they're stuck inside their little app bubbles, and they can't actually do anything for you. It's this universal frustration, and that is the exact problem that OpenClaw was created to fix.
So what's the big deal? What makes it so different? Well, this slide lays it out perfectly. Your typical AI, it just sits there, waiting for you. It's forgetful. It's trapped. OpenClaw is the complete opposite. It's proactive. Yeah, it can actually message you. It remembers everything. And here's the kicker. It lives on your computer with total access to your system, your files, your apps. That changes the game.
And that brings us right into our first big topic. This is the AI assistant we've all been waiting for. Seriously, for years, this is the exact thing big tech has been promising us, but it took one developer working on their own to finally make it happen.
Okay, so what exactly is OpenClaw? At its core, it's a completely free, open-source AI assistant that you host yourself. That means it runs on your own computer, not on some company's servers. It hooks right into the apps you already use, like WhatsApp and Telegram, and it was literally born out of its creator's frustration that nobody else was building the tool he desperately wanted. So this isn't some cloud service you subscribe to. This is your personal AI, and you are in the driver's seat.
So how does this thing actually work? I know the architecture might sound a little complex, but the creator came up with a really brilliant analogy that makes it super easy to understand. Just think of OpenClaw as a restaurant.
Okay, first up, you've got the gateway. This is basically the front door of our restaurant. It's a little service that's always running in the background, 24/7, just listening for your messages from WhatsApp, Telegram, you name it. When you send a command, the gateway is the host that greets you, takes your order, and then passes it along to the kitchen.
Now, in the kitchen, we have the agent. This is the chef, the actual AI brain of the whole operation. And what's really interesting here is that OpenClaw doesn't have its own AI model. You actually connect it to your favorite large language model, whether that's Claude, GPT, Gemini, whatever you want. The agent takes your request from the gateway, figures out what you're trying to do, and then decides on a plan of action.
But a chef can't cook without kitchen tools and ingredients, right? And that's where skills come in. Think of these as modular plugins that give the agent its real power. You've got a skill for browsing the web, a skill for sending emails, a skill for running commands right on your computer. Honestly, without skills, OpenClaw is just another chatbot. With them, it can actually take action in the real world. This is where the magic really happens.
And finally, we get to the secret sauce, memory. In our restaurant analogy, this is the recipe book, combined with a detailed list of every customer's preferences. See, OpenClaw saves everything you tell it right there on your own machine in simple text files. And this is why it feels like you're talking to someone who actually knows you. You mention your wife's birthday one time, and it'll remember next year. I'm not kidding, this is the one feature that changes absolutely everything.
So what happens when you take that kind of incredible power and you give people total local control over it? Well, you get something that the developer community has apparently been waiting for a very long time. And when they finally saw it, it just exploded.
I mean, look at this timeline. It's just wild. It went from a 1-hour prototype in late 2024 to becoming one of the fastest growing open source projects in GitHub history by early 2026. Just think about that. And why? It's simple, really. It delivered on a promise that's been made for over a decade. It actually did stuff instead of just, talking about doing stuff.
And it's really hard to wrap your head around the scale of this explosion, but this one number helps. Over 60,000 GitHub stars. In just a few weeks. That isn't just a little bit of interest, folks. That's a full-blown movement.
And this quote really shows you why people were so hyped. The community just immediately started building these incredible things. Get this. One user, AJ Stivenberg, set up his OpenClaw to negotiate with a bunch of car dealers at the same time, basically playing them off each other until it saved him more than $4,000 on a car. How cool is that? And then you get what people started calling the Mac Mini moment. This is wild.
Users like Aaron Ng started buying dedicated computers, like a whole Mac Mini, just to run OpenClaw around the clock. They gave the AI its own Apple ID, its own Gmail account, its own GitHub. It stopped being just a tool on a computer. It was becoming like a digital employee or a roommate or something.
Yeah, the creativity was just completely off the charts. People built systems to manage an entire software development workflow. Others had it generating complex diagrams just from a text command. Someone else had it impersonating them in group chats and then ordering their groceries for them. We're talking full weekly meal planning systems with automated shopping lists. It really felt like the possibilities were endless.
But, and this is a huge but, with that kind of incredible power comes an incredible amount of risk. The very things that make OpenClaw so useful, well, they also make it unbelievably dangerous if you don't handle it with extreme care. And this, my friends, brings us to the dark side of the story. Because, let's be real, with great power comes, well, you know the rest. When you hand over the keys to your entire digital kingdom to an AI, and I mean everything, your files, your emails, all your accounts, you're not just creating a powerful assistant, you're creating an enormous blinking target. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from Cisco's AI threat research team, it really says it all. From a capability perspective, OpenClaw is groundbreaking. From a security perspective, it's an absolute nightmare. Yikes! The security community saw this and immediately started sounding the alarm. And look, this wasn't just some theoretical what-if kind of threat. This was happening. Researchers almost immediately found hundreds of OpenClaw instances just sitting out there on the public web, completely unlocked with no authentication. One researcher showed how easy it was to upload a malicious, though thankfully harmless, skill to the official library, which was downloaded thousands of times. They even proved that a single cleverly worded email could trick an agent into leaking the contents of its user's entire inbox. The risks here were very, very real. So what's the core problem here? Well, security researcher Simon Willison calls it the lethal trifecta, and it's a perfect way to put it. Step 1, the AI has access to all your private data, your emails, your files, your passwords. Step 2, it's constantly taking in untrusted content from the outside world, emails, messages, websites. And step 3, it has the power to take external actions, like sending messages or running commands. You put those 3 things together, and what you get is a perfect storm for a security disaster.
Okay, so that leaves us with the million-dollar question, doesn't it? On one hand, you have this incredibly powerful, almost magical tool, and on the other, you have this absolutely terrifying security risk. So, is it worth it?
All right, here's the bottom line. You should probably think about using OpenClaw if you're a technical user who really understands the risks we've talked about. If you know how to properly lock down the setup, maybe using something like Docker, and ideally if you're running it on its own dedicated machine. On the flip side, you should absolutely stay away from it if you're looking for a simple set it and forget it kind of thing. Definitely don't use it if you plan to connect it to your most sensitive accounts, and if you're not comfortable working with a command line, yeah, this probably isn't for you. And really, that's what this all boils down to, isn't it? OpenClaw gives us this incredible glimpse into the future, what a truly personal, truly powerful AI assistant could be, one that actually remembers us and can act on our behalf. But at the same time, it throws open the door to a whole new class of security risks that, frankly, we're just starting to wrap our heads around. So the question isn't just about this one piece of software, it's about the future we're sprinting towards. Is this powerful tool the future we've been dreaming of, or is it a risk we're just not ready for?